Now guys, what if I told you there's a brand new ETF that offers around a 33% distribution rate, has not decayed whatsoever, but grown like crazy over time, and some exposure to some very highly sought after individual stocks throughout the entire markets. In this video, we're going to go over this brand new ETF that I've never really looked super deep into, so we'll be doing it together. I'm going to share with you what it is, how it works, what it has to offer, and of course, look at the total return and everything else. I'm lastly going to share with you guys if I personally would buy it, if I wouldn't, and what my honest thoughts are on it. So if this sort of thing interests you at all, make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. My A to Z dividend investing ebook has already helped countless dividend investors get started with their journey. And my custom dividend tracker, the one I use all the time on my videos, has also helped so many investors stay organized and has actually helped them see their dividend income grow. Well, today I have something even better for you guys. When you click the first link down below in my description and you grab my A to Z dividend investing ebook, today you're not only going to get the ebook, but you're also going to be getting the custom dividend tracker, which you can use to track your own dividend income ongoingly. Get direct access to my personal email where you guys can email me any questions regarding dividend investing. You're also going to receive a link to view all of my holdings inside my 7-figure dividend portfolio and see all the positions I add and take away ongoingly. And you're going to get for absolutely free my brand new high yield dividend investing ebook where I show you the power of maximizing some of these high yielding ETFs and teach you everything there is to know about that also. This is going to be your one shot to grab everything inside of one single bundle, but you got to move quick because I'm not going to offer this for long. Now with all that, let's get back into the video. Now the ETF that I'm talking about or referring to that I haven't really looked super deeply into, I've heard a lot about it, is BLOX or Blocks, the Nicholas Crypto Income ETF. Without wasting any time going into the fact sheet for this ETF to understand what it is, what it has to offer, it says investment objective and strategy. Blocks is an actively managed exchange-traded fund that provides exposure to blockchain tech to enhance income and to provide portfolio diversification. The fund blends digital asset-related investments and traditional income-generating securities to generate growth potential in emerging technologies while maintaining a focus on risk-adjusted returns. The Nicholas Crypto Income ETF's The Fund primary investment objective is to seek capital appreciation. The fund secondarily investment objective is to seek current income. So that's definitely sort of interesting, especially with an ETF that does offer a very high distribution rate, at least as of right now. The fund's main objective is actually to seek capital appreciation. Now the investment approach, it says Blocks is an actively managed ETF that seeks to give investors the opportunity to have exposure to both Bitcoin and Ether through direct and indirect ownership of US listed exchange traded ETFs and or of course ETPs. The funds will invest in crypto industry companies engaged in crypto asset mining, blockchain tech, crypto trading platforms, payment processing, DeFi tech providers within the crypto industry and companies that invest directly in crypto. So like I always say when it comes to thinking about if you want exposure, if you want to invest in any ETF, you have to ask yourself, do you want exposure to the underlying exposure within it? In this case, it's going to be a lot of crypto industry type of exposure, which I personally up until recently didn't really have that much of an interest in getting much exposure to that in my portfolio just because it doesn't necessarily align with what I'm looking for in my long-term investment objective. But with ETFs like this one and others, getting this exposure through a high income strategy definitely at least has me interested. Now, another important aspect about this ETF, especially if you are a dividend income focused investor, is going to be the fact that this ETF is going to offer you weekly income potential. Now the ETF's expense ratio is around 1.03%, so pretty much in line with what you would assume. And as far as the weekly distributions, as of right now, we're looking at just over 15 cents as of recent, around 14.8 cents, 13.7, 14, 15, 16, around 15 cents per share per week on average as of recent. Now keep in mind this ETF cost as of filming this video around $23-24 per share. So if you invest $23-24 and you get paid out 15 cents per share per week, it's not going to take all that many months whatsoever to get your entire investment returned, which is kind of shocking. Now keep in mind with any stock or an ETF, previous performance does not indicate future performance, so definitely take the previous performance with a grain of salt, but so far this ETF looks pretty darn good if I do say so myself. So now that we understand the objective and the strategy, how this ETF works, at least generally speaking, the top 10 holdings are going to be names like Galaxy Digital as of right now, Robinhood, Riot, Hut, we have Coinbase, we have Iron, we have Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing, Nvidia, Mara, and Block. Lots of familiar names in here, lots of names that do offer a high amount of implied volatility, which means there is going to be the potential to offer a ton of income generation, when of course ETFs like this one are going to be utilizing an option overlay. Now as far as most of these names go, I have to be honest, I don't want to have a massive amount of exposure to these names in my long-term portfolio, just because they are a little bit too high beta, but because I missed out on a lot of the crypto run-up, I would not mind whatsoever having at least a small, say 1 to 5% exposure to lots of names in this list in my portfolio. I mean, throughout my portfolio, I already do have some exposure to some of these names, but the cool thing about Blocks ETF is that you're sort of getting this all in one package by buying shares of it, so I so far like what I see. Now, Block started trading back in late June, so it has not been trading for all that long. And again, when it comes to crypto, especially, anything can happen in a very short time frame. But at least so far, this ETF has not decayed whatsoever. It's actually traded up into the right around 22%. It started trading around $19.29. As of filming this video, around $23-24. Now, keep in mind, this is not even accounting for that 15 cents per share per week distributions that investors have been receiving. Not to mention, even though this ETF has only been trading for a few months, the total return is massive, 31.15% total return for Blocks. And again, this ETF has only been trading since late June. So lastly, I want to give you guys my honest thoughts on Blocks, the Nicholas Crypto Income ETF, if I would buy it, if I wouldn't buy it. And then of course, I also want you guys to weigh in down below what you think of this ETF, what's good about it, what's bad about it. Let's discuss. So at first glance, I do like what this ETF seems to offer. I like the idea that it offers capital appreciation first, which hopefully means there's going to be a smaller amount of decay in the future, but then also offers a ton of weekly income generation. Now, like I sort of hinted at earlier, I personally do not want any of these names to be a massive portion of my long-term portfolio, but I do think that some of these names are shaping the future, honestly. And honestly, because of that, I do want to have at least some exposure in my long-term portfolio. Now, I'll be honest, I already bought a few shares of this ETF a little while back and haven't added any more to my portfolio just because it's went up in price and because I like the dollar cost average down. I'm sort of waiting for a pullback, but this ETF would sort of be a good one, at least for me, for what I'm looking for, to sort of buy a little bit here and there, maybe forget about and slowly build out a nice position in my long-term portfolio. Now, with that being said, because a lot of these names within Blocks are pretty volatile and because a lot of these names have the potential to grow very quickly, there is that chance that this ETF could not only grow like crazy over the next year, but also pay a ton of weekly income, which would make an ETF like this one be an absolute home run. So will I personally add some of this ETF in my portfolio? Well, I already honestly have added some, but just because of my personal strategy, my goals, my objectives, and my risk tolerance, it'd always be a small position, but I like what I see so far. Now, before I go into the question for you guys down below, have you added the Nicholas Crypto Income ETF to your portfolio as of yet? And what are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like in it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.